Hello and welcome to part 3 of my natural yarn dyeing project. This is where I am knitting the dye. So part 1 was me dyeing the fibre using natural dye for the first time. Part 2 was me spinning the yarn, and welcome to part 3 where I knit the project from it. So you can see the whole thing from like conception to finish. I'm going to reveal I am making a hat. Very exciting. I'll have my reasons for it at the end. I'm going to reveal my stupid joke. And also we've got started. I was going out Friday night, and I wanted a little project to take with me, and I didn't have anything ready that was kind of small enough to put in like the little bag I wanted to take, well, in my pockets. So I took this out, and it was too much to cast it on, so I did something else eventually, but yeah, I already started. I was well enough to knit, but not well enough to film recently, so I have made the brim. And this fits nicely over my head, so yeah. Pattern. I found a pattern. So having wrapped this around, it came out as 31 wraps per inch. It's apparently what we call in England 4-ply yarn. It's 2 plies, but like in the thicknesses we've got like 4-ply is kind of fingering weight, I think, or like sock yarn thickness. But yeah, it's thin yarn that I've spun for absolute masochistic reasons, I assume. Skinny. And I had a look for patterns online, and I found the Mithril Beanie by Katie Fustitch, and it's a free pattern, so I will link it in the description. Funny. It's easy to hear other people say like, oh yeah, I'll link in the description below. Like, ooh, I have links. I have links I can put in the description. This video is sponsored. Just kidding. This video is chaos. So yeah, I have done some ribbing. I spun up 3 skeins of yarn. As you can see, we've got a different colour difference. If you weren't here for part 1 but have found this part 3, welcome. I dyed this all with a plant known as red robin, like Photosia or something like that, which I had in the garden and had hanging around for a while. And then I did an iron bath. So this is the skein without the iron, and then this is the skein with, so you can see the colour difference. I wasn't sure how much like yardage I'd get out of this or what I was doing. I was thinking maybe I'd make a hat that was this colour that had like 2 rounds in it of this as just like a stripe somewhere. But actually, when I looked at it, I realised that I had quite a lot, so I thought, okay, I'll do the ribbing in this colour and then I'll change colour for the main body of the hat. So that's what I've done. I've just got to the end of this. I've got like a little bit which I can use for any kind of sewing up details or anything else like that that I might need. It's worked in the round, so I shouldn't need to sew up, but I've got like a little bit left. It's not enough to do another round. It's not showing up well at all on the laptop. The pattern does call for 3 inches of ribbing, and I do only have 1 inch of ribbing, but I think it's going to be okay because it'll just mean that the ribbing isn't as much, and I won't be able to like fold it up on itself, but that's okay. I'm okay with that for my beanies. The pattern is apparently worked in honeycomb stitch in the round, which I haven't done before. I was trying to be a good girl, because sometimes when I have stitches that I haven't done before, I do get out some different yarn and I sit and I'll work out the stitch pattern before I do it. And I did try doing that, but it's annoying doing that with stuff in the round. I think if I'd got the tiny little round needles where I could have just kind of done my 20 stitches round and round, then it would have been fine, but I kind of half-assed it, then went, nah. So I'm just about to go straight into doing it with the regular yarn. Life's too short. Like, I'm pretty confident in my ability to not fuck up so badly that I end up with like an unfroggable mess. And I've not done so much work on the ribbing, and ribbing isn't so hard to do that I wouldn't be able to frog back the whole thing if I make it so much of a mess, but I doubt it's going to be that bad. It doesn't seem to be too difficult. It's a 4-row repeat, and it's quite a lot of just like slipped stitches and yarn overs and some knit or purl two-togethers. So I think it should be okay. I don't think it's going to be too bad. So yeah, I will check in occasionally, depending on how I feel and what else I've got going on. I was hoping that I could just memorise the stitch and then take it out and just be doing it, and maybe, but definitely not that soon. So I might do a little bit more this afternoon, or I might do a little bit of work on another project. But yeah, I will check in occasionally as I go through, as I work on this, and then I'll show you at the end where I've got to. I am also thinking that I might put a patch on this. I've been thinking about, like, with my clothes, what to do with the like heavy metal patches, or like the band patches. I've got a couple here, so I've got a Hayseed Dixie one, which I got a little while ago and haven't put on anything. And I've got a Rage one, which is the one I'm kind of thinking about using, because I think that could be quite good, like, on a hat. I'm not sure if I will or not. I think I'll just kind of see how it is, how it fits, whether this means that, because this doesn't have any stretch to it, it's like a really sturdy embroidered kind of cotton on an interfacing background, with the hard embroidered edge. There's no stretch to it. I'll just kind of see how it goes, because I've been thinking about what I want to put these on, because I did have one of those battle jackets, which, if you're not like a heavy metal person, you're just like a knitting person that's found this, what the heck. You get denim jackets, you cut the sleeves off, and you sew patches all over it, so then you've got like all of your different band stuff, and then people know what bands you're into, and you're like, yeah, I got the cool Iron Maiden back patch, and I've got the this and that and whatever. And I did have one of those, but something about like it being a denim jacket, so then you can't, if you take it off, it's really cumbersome, so you kind of have to wear it the whole time. But then you get warm, but it's also not that warm because it also doesn't have any sleeves, and it's like denim as opposed to like a hoodie or something like that. So I've not really got on with it, so I did give it away to a charity shop. I just wanted to come in and do a little check-in for this hat that I'm knitting. I've abandoned the pattern. Okay, so ball one of yarn is done. Ooh. And that has come out at 3 inches exactly. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to have another 2 inches with this one, and then I'm going to have to spin some more. Yay! Okay, so a little update time. I am 4 1/3 inches away from my cast on edge, which is about 11 centimetres. Just doing the kind of the ribbing and the plane. And I'm about to start decreasing for the crown. So I've been trying it on, and I've got quite a small head. I have had a issue recently, so I have been like doubting myself, especially when I've been using the hand spun yarn, of like not making things long enough, but it's big, it's kind of big all over. If I was a different type of knitter, I might be like, I need to rip it all out and start again, and do less stitches, but I'm not that kind of gal. But I think it's reasonable to start decreasing for the crown now. I have had issues before where I've been making them like not deep enough, but then I've also made them too deep. So I think this is like a good compromise. I kind of want it to be about here for my head, rather than like too far down, having to slouch it back too much, which is what the original pattern would have me do, be quite slouchy. But I think if I decrease it now, it'll be the right thing to do. Okay, so I spun up a little bit more yarn. It's about as much as I can emotionally feel like I want to. But it's really tricky to tell because it looks like nothing, but then the yardage is really good. So I've got this much. I almost perfectly span 2 bobbins. I think I had about like that much on one when one of them ran out. So pretty much, is it called winning the spinning lottery? But pretty much that exact matching. And I've got some more of my fibre spun up. I'm not going to wash it, I'm just going to go straight in. So I'm going to wind it, instead of winding it around a niddy-noddy, washing it, letting it dry and stuff, I'm going to wind it around my fingers to just make up a ball, which is how I wind it. But I thought it'd be quite cool to show how I do that, because my mum taught me and no one else has access on the internet to my mum. Even I don't have access to my mum at the moment. So I wind round 2 fingers to about that much, and then I go in between in the middle, slide it off my fingers, so I've got just like a little loop, and then I go round in the middle like a bow tie, so you just end up with this, and then at some point when you've got like a decent amount on there, fold it up in half and then wind around the other way. And then from there, winding a ball of yarn is just a process of changing up the directions. My usual one after this is to go like over the, because I've got that kind of shape, is to go like over the top. But it's basically just to wind in one direction for a little while until it's looking like it's making up a little ridge. Switch it round, turn it like 90 degrees and go around and just keep doing that, putting it wherever it looks like there's sort of a gap. It doesn't matter, like there's no one sort of way to do it, but you can end up with something nice and spherical if you keep winding in a certain direction. I am just doing this straight off the bobbin because I am away again tomorrow. I thought I'm probably going to want to put this project in with me because it's quite an easy one to just be working on while I'm out and doing other things and chilling and whatever. It's quite small and it's not very complicated. I have started the decreases now. I'm on my first round of decreases. But I didn't want to go away, run out of yarn in like the first 10 minutes and not have any, so here is my next little ball. It looks like nothing, and like the bobbins look like nothing, but because it's so thin it's got so much yardage on it. So yeah, the ball that I have that I've just been like working through, that I'm like getting towards the end of, like it was still only like that big, so this is smaller, but like not by much. You probably would have seen it on my palm when I was winding it at my friend's house on Wednesday, because I filmed that. So yeah, this is what I've got. It's another little ball. It looks like nothing. Maybe it'll get to me towards the end. I don't know, because I've got quite a lot of stitches to decrease, but it's the next little bit. I'll keep you updated. Okay, so it's been a while. I think it's actually been a couple of weeks since I last filmed anything. I just got so tired with this project and I didn't want to do any more, and I just wanted to knit it, and I'm shaping the crown. I've done the first like round of decreases and I just want it to be And ended up like it's quite big. I think I've probably got a few too many stitches. I've got quite a small head, so like it's quite big, which means I've got that much more to reduce. Yeah. So I have done a little bit more spinning because I think I showed knitting with the yarn that I'd got. And I took my spindle away with me and I'd had it out tonight. So tonight I was working the door at an event. So I did this and also at the back of the gig. So yeah, actually I think this was entirely while the headliner was on. I was working there. And this is the stuff that I did while I was away for a couple of weeks. It was like the last week, like just before Halloween. It's the 10th of November now, so it's been a little while. These are both singles, so I'm gonna give them a little ply together now on my iSpin. Obviously I've got way more of like one than the other, but I'll just kind of see how far we go, and then probably do some sort of like the plying bracelet type thing to just get all of this into a ball, and then find my project, because I went to look and I've got this project bag which I made, but I only had my phone in it to film, because I've got an old phone which is what I'm filming this on, so I don't know where the actual knitting project is. I'm sure it's somewhere. It'll be in a bag or under something or somewhere, but yeah. I guess I'll find it, knit it, and then show you how it looks. I found the project. It's where I thought it was. It was in my whip basket. It was just under something else, so I hadn't seen it when I initially went for a hunt for it. But yeah, and I'd also done a few more of the decreases than I thought I had. So I thought I'd only done like knit 13, knit 2 together, and then maybe half of the next row. But turns out I'd done 3 or 4 different rows, which meant I could pick it up and get it finished. So I continued the decreasing every row. I think the decreases have come out looking quite nice. It's just a really simple knit 2 together, stacked on top of each other, and it's made this quite nice little slightly puffy sort of top, a little bit like a bundt cake or a blancmange, one of those cartoon jellies. It's been in one of those moulds, bit of a pumpkin-y shape. Tried it on, and it is indeed a little shorter than I wanted. Avery hand spun apart. I've never done a hand spun hat that's been the right freaking length. So I did like my first one, which was the acrylic fibres, and that was like equally daftly short. And then I've done one that's like a colourwork thing, and because I was trying to get the whole colourwork grid onto the crown before I was doing any decreases, that's like stupidly long, and I have to like put it on the back and slouch it, because otherwise it comes down like well past my eyebrows. And yeah, I've got another one, and it's a bit short, but because it's 100% wool, and I'm pretty confident in the colour being sort of dyed in reasonably heavily, I am going to block it. So we'll see what that does and see if it grows a little bit. I think it's exceedingly boring as a hat. Like, it's nice that it's got the thing on it and like the shaping and the crown. I think it's a nice example, but it's also just really boring. So I am going to put the patch on it. Just a bit of a preview. Get the patch out. I'm going to move this one. And then, yeah, I'm just going to pop it on the bug. Yeah, like that. I'm just going to pop it on to line up with where the colour change happens. Yeah, so I'm going to block it first, because obviously this is woven, so it won't stretch out at all, whereas it's stretchy and it's wool, so like, I mean, it's not impossibly small, so if it doesn't grow, I don't think it needs to grow by much to look right. Got a bit of a beret look, actually, or a tam if I put it on the top. Get like a bit of a yeah, you just go sideways with the berry. Oh, that's like an army berry. Don't want that. Whatever. I'm going to put it onto block. Then I'm going to sew the patch on, and then it'll be done. Yarn wise, I have this much left after I'd span up what I had on the spindle, and yeah, I like the 2 spindles that I showed, and this is what I've got left after that. So that's a really decent quantity, because a ball like this is quite tightly round. and I have this little bit left over of the other colour, which was without the iron bath, which is that bit around the bottom. So I'm thinking I'm going to transfer the remaining fibre, because I still have some more. I'm going to transfer the remaining fibre to a little bag to put it in stash with these guys of like with the pre-wound stuff, because I don't know if this is particularly enough to do anything much with, but I think it might be quite nice to keep them all together just in stash like that. It's not going to take up much space, just like a tiny little Ziploc bag type thing. And yeah, this project's going to be done. It's been hanging around for so long, but yeah, looking forward to finishing it. Come back after it's blocked. It's 10 to 1 in the morning. I want to go to bed, but my phone has officially said I have too much stuff on it, like pictures and videos, and it won't work, and I need it to work tomorrow for going to work, so I can use like sat-nav and stuff, because I don't want that to conk out on me when I'm trying to work out where to go, so I am removing some from that, and while I do that, let's deal with this guy. So I've had it out blocking, I gave it a little wash and just left it flat. I didn't pin it or anything. I noticed that I've got a really strong line here, actually, which is a bit weird because they are the same dye lot, being that there was only a singular dye bath, so I don't know, sucks to suck, I guess. Let's see what our length situation is. That is better. It's stretched out just a little bit. I don't think it's the most flattering of hats. I have been slouching another one. Maybe it just needs a little slouch. Maybe. A different angle, not sure. But either way. Yeah. Either way, it is done. It fits a lot nicer now. Does it feel like a little longer at the back? I don't know. So final touch, I'm going to sew this on, and then hopefully it'll be done, it'll look nice, and I can go to bed. And then the whole project's done and I can do something else. It's done, it's complete, I'm so happy. And now it is time to reveal the whole purpose of this stupid project, which has taken like 6 weeks of work and like getting mad at it and spinning stupid thread yarn. It's just a pun. I just wanted to make a pun. The phrase "dyed in the wool" means that it's been this way for like the longest possible time, like right from the start. Being a metalhead means that you enjoy heavy metal or other types of metal, and obviously a hat goes on your head. I dyed this with an iron bath. I think this makes me a dyed-in-the-wool metalhead. I don't know if the joke was worth it. Maybe I'll feel differently later. But yeah, this is it. Thank you for joining me on this absolutely daft project. I hope that you enjoy the puns when I hear like a groan the day after I upload this, like loud enough that I can hear it from wherever in the world it ends up being watched. I will know that the pun has landed and that it was definitely not worth the effort. As far as the actual hat goes, I think it looks a lot nicer now that I've blocked it. And obviously the spinning is quite fine, so it's given quite a nice fabric. It's got an interesting amount of variation, which I was thinking it wouldn't have because it's dyed, so I thought it would look a lot flatter, but it's got a little bit of dimension to it. I am enjoying having my rage patch on something because I don't have a battle jacket. At the moment I want to make something, but not that, because I just don't like it as an item. And yeah, I have another beanie now, which is cool, so I can wear it to some gigs. And yeah, I will I'll see you in whatever next shenanigan I get up to. And you can fit a lot of rubles in a dead rat if you really try. I'll go to bed.